Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey today. These are the readings for the human design profile, and also there will be readings for the human design types. So stick around, for that. We're going to be using the Spellcaster's tarot, which I love because this is probably one of the first 5 tarot decks I ever got. And I haven't used this deck probably actually in years. So before every reading, I do ask the deck if it wants to do all 16 now of the readings, and I'll just shuffle until it kicks out basically like a yes or no card. And the one deck I wanted to use, because I also haven't used it in a few years, gave me the 3 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles. And I was like, okay, you are not in the mood for work. So, so then like this one was actually sitting right next to it. And I was like, ooh, what about EU? And it was like an immediate yes. So I love that. Also, the other deck that I wanted to use, part of the reason why I went to that one was because this wasn't recent. It was like in the last couple months. I actually went back and watched the first videos that I put out. And I think that was in December of 2021. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to see. I wanted to see how it was or whatever. I don't know. But I'm not going to lie. I also was really expecting to be kind of embarrassed or like cringe, and I really only listened to my sun and rising ones, but I was not embarrassed or like cringy or anything, honestly, at all. Like, I was actually really fucking proud of myself, which is so funny because I was not expecting that reaction, which, that kind of sucks. Like that, I really do need to like give myself a break. But I left a comment though on every video. And of course I just, copied and pasted, but I just left a comment that said, hey Liz, this is Liz from 2025. And I just want to tell you like how fucking proud I am of you because you started this, like I was so nervous and I thought for sure you were going to be able to hear it in my voice. I thought for sure I was going to be stumbling over my words. I thought for sure that, that I was just going to like be continuously losing my words because I do that a lot, and just fumbling all over the place, but I wasn't at all, or not maybe to the extent that I thought. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so I left, a comment and I was just like, man, like I am so fucking proud of you. And you're the one that felt the fear and did it anyway. And granted, I don't know exactly what I said in that comment. I could look it up, but something along these lines, just telling myself I'm proud of myself, because that past version of me is why I'm even still here. And also why I'm going to be teaching an intro to tarot class at this wonderful, experience boutique next month, which I never thought I would do. So it's just, it was really cool. And I'm so glad that I did that too. Also, the other thing that was kind of funny is that in the intro of those videos, I was like, the acronym for Heretic Owl is HO. So I was like, if you're a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Or if you want to be a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Which I just think is absolutely hilarious. Like, hoe is one of my favorite endearing words. Like, I do not use it like at derogatory. I know people do. I don't, but yeah, so if you want to be a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Be a hoe with the rest of us. But also, like, you know, Heretic Owl Tarot is hot. So, you know, being a hoe makes you hot, you know, or whatever. I can't say, like, you know, do hot girl shit because I don't know if Megan Thee Stallion trademarked that. But anyway, just funny. Just funny. And also too, like I said, like I just remember being so fucking nervous. I literally, I had a phone that barely had any memory on it. I had a computer that barely had any, I could literally only do one video at a time because I didn't have memory or storage on like any device, you know, to actually do multiple videos at a time. And I was using like a folding table, and I had my, I should have grabbed it actually. I had my little owl stone or whatever, which I do still have. But anyway, yeah, very cool. So that's all I'll say. This is the second time I'm actually recording this intro because the first time I was like blabbering on for literally like 15 minutes. So that's it. Oh, that's not it. We're going to do these readings a little bit different this time. And this is also like the way that I've been reading for myself lately. I've been pulling like 2 sets of cards. The first set is the lie, which is the obstacle, or of course, I mean, literally the lie, right? That we're either telling ourselves that usually is like what we're telling ourselves. You know, it could be the limiting belief, old stuff, you know, whatever is also like holding you back or keeping you small. And then the other side is going to be the truth. And of course, right, I mean, I feel like that is pretty self-explanatory. It's a little bit similar-ish to the 333 readings that I do, which is like the door and the key. Similar-ish. But I've already done the 1-3 reading actually, and oh my gosh, that was beautiful. So no doubt all of these readings will turn out that way. And also I believe that the truth is so imperative right now, and especially because we are being bombarded with the depth and the expanse of lies that literally like our whole lives, you know, like the economy, the government, the, you know, the, you know, billionaire class, or, you know, like whatever you want to, whatever, you know, we are literally being bombarded with like how much of that shit is lies, how much we've been fed, you know, like lie wise. And, I think it is imperative, like I said, right now to really hone in on your truth, accept what is true for you as well. And also, again, like even recognize the lies that we're telling ourselves, the limiting beliefs that we're telling ourselves, the identities that we've been, you know, carrying around or operating from, the conditioning, really. Because, you know, I mean, with human design, like a big part of it is the deconditioning process. And I really do think that by more people honoring their own truth, it really is, you know, going to shift the world. So that's kind of also like where that's coming from. So I will officially leave it there, and we'll get into the readings. Great. So this is a reading for the 4-1 human design profile, the opportunist investigator. If you don't know what your human design profile is, there is a link in the description for you to get your human design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there. Your type will be listed on there as well, so keep a lookout for those once I get them posted. I mentioned in the intro that we're doing what is the lie and what is the truth. And you know, I mean, that might be self-explanatory, but the lie is just, you know, it's the limiting belief. It's the thing that we're telling ourselves. It's, you know, the focus that could just, of course, not be the truth. And then over here, of course, is the truth. Like, what is actually happening. We have the world, which is beautiful. Eight of Swords, Ace of Swords. I don't know. You know, YouTube can be kind of sensitive to. And then what is the truth? It's interesting too because like literally the Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. So. Okay, we have the Ten of Cups and one more. Page of Pentacles. I haven't been, well, I was going to say I haven't really been pulling cards from the bottom of the deck, but that's a lie. I have pulled cards from the bottom of the deck. We'll see. Okay. It is really interesting because over here, right, the world is literally the end of something. It's the end of the world as we know it. Okay, that's actually probably a little too real right now, but it is. It literally is. It's the end of the fool's journey. It's literally the point where we recognize that we got what we needed to get out of a relationship, a situation, a journey, a lesson, a circumstance that we were in, you know, whatever it is. And it's also making the decision to like honor that completion, because it's like the Death card is an ending, right? Like the Death card is something needs to end in order for something new to begin. The World is kind of the same thing, but the World is more like something is actually complete. It's not it could feel like a decision here. I mean, we have two air cards out here, which is the mind and our beliefs and our perceptions of our reality and the stories that we tell ourselves, and literally, you know, limiting beliefs. Ego is in there with swords as well, because we tend to hear our ego in our minds, and our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings, and that becomes why we perceive things the way that we do, why we believe the things that we do, the limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves, the beliefs that we have about ourselves and our world, or, you know, other people. And it becomes like the reasons why you do and don't do other things. It's the reason why you hold on to some things and you can let go of other things. It's like literally our whole identity. So it's interesting that Eight of Swords is a self-inflicted mind prison to me. There's a lot of information, though, in the Eight of Swords. Like, that's where the gremlins, as Brene Brown calls them, like, that's where the gremlins get so loud, where it's almost like, you know, analysis paralysis or functional freeze, or like survival mode even, because there is this completion happening, and maybe there is some fear, anxiety, uncertainty even, It could be that the way that something is presenting as an end is freaking you out. We also cannot deny here that like I said, the sort of truth is out here. New ideas, new perspective. So on one side we have a completion. It's harmony. It's full circle. You know, like we start at the Fool, we end at the World. And then again, like, because I don't think I actually finished my thought, we go right back into the Fool. Like it's, you know, this journey is complete so that another one can begin. It, you know, it's a circle. It never ends, you know. Which also, like, I just heard that. Is it Lamb Chop? This is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Oh, you know, interesting because two songs. Music might be really beneficial for you right now. And especially music that can put into words what you are thinking. Maybe even, you know, like some new music. Or like listening to an album all the way through and like you find a song that maybe you didn't enjoy before and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, like this is exactly like what is going through my mind. I don't know. But also what's interesting here in this Eight of Swords is that there's these two sun symbols on their hand. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Hopefully you can. There's a symbol of the sun on both hands. And I want to double check this. Oops. And over here in the Ten of Cups, the sun symbols are above those cups that those two people are holding up. So I know, you know, like with the 4-1 profile, because you guys are the only ones that have the fixed fate. You have the juxtaposition incarnation cross. You guys are the only ones who are meant to kind of go in a straight line. You know, like you're the ones that you really are meant to walk your own path. And because we're human, unfortunately, we can be influenced, we can diverge from that path for whatever reason, right? But it's also like it's imperative to honor the, because I don't know how that feels for a 4-1, right? Like I am a 5-1. So you have the fourth line, opportunist, which is about community, networks, connections with people. Like familiarity is good for you guys. With the fourth line, right? The first line is investigation and really like diving into the things that interest you. That's the line that you master something, right? Like you have an interest in something, and you can look to your personality sun gate and see if there is anything that sparks your fancy there. That would be the top right. I have my chart over here on the right side, the top. Right, like there's that sun symbol, the circle with the dot in the middle. And the reason why I'm even going in that direction is because like I do halfway wonder if, and I feel like for like most of the time when it comes to 4-1 readings, I end up going on this rant or this, tangent about the importance of honoring your own path. And quite frankly, I would absolutely love if anybody shared, regardless of if your experience with human design or your understanding of it. Do you feel though like there's just something in you, right? That like it's almost like a tether, or like I don't want to say like a cord, but whereas like basically for any other type, it's like ups and downs and circles and knots and blah 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 blah, right? I mean, we're just like pinballing all over the place, and that's part of our design, right? But like for you guys, for your profile, even taking a look at your incarnation cross as well, it's like from point A to point B. And if you veer off of that, if there are ups and downs, if there are knots and whatever, then it's like that's what pulls you into feeling locked up, feeling trapped, because it could feel maybe like you feel obligated to people around you in some capacity. It could be that community or your network like all of a sudden feels I want to say like overstimulating. It could be like a lot of people pleasing. Too, because I mean, truly, like, people pleasing literally is like doing something that is against your own intuition or your own even design, right? Because you want to be accepted. You feel a sense of worth from helping other people, or you don't want to disappoint, or you don't want to lose a connection or whatever. But like I said, it's interesting that we have this end over here. We have this literally the sword of truth over here, and in the middle of it we have the 8 of swords that they're not trapped. They're blindfolded. There's this fire going on. There's literally this ox behind them that's like, I'm just waiting for you. And also I like love the loyalty. Not to mention that this ox is like between them and the fire. There's like some sort of protection here as well. You might be an ox in Chinese astrology, but also like that's kind of like Taurus energy. And Taurus is about security. Materials, possessions, what you have, what you own. And there is also an attachment there to worth. So anyway, they are, there is a rope around their arms, but there are their hands here. If you can see that, hopefully, I don't know if it's blurry. Their hands, like they have their hands crossed. It's not like they're tied. So they literally could move their arms, take off this blindfold, and like, that's what I mean by a self-inflicted mind prison. This is feeling or thinking that you don't have another choice. It's also too being a victim of our own decisions. which, dude, that's been coming up for me a lot lately. And I like literally have to laugh to myself about it because I'm like, man, talk about a human experience, like literally being a victim of like a decision that I literally made. And now, like I'm the one that also has to deal with the consequences. Like, but also it like I said, the Eight of Swords is the perfect play. Like, what is happening in your head? Why do you feel trapped? Why do you feel like you can't honor your line, like your path? Also, I always bring up that Erykah Badu song, Didn't You Know? Isn't that what it's called? And I always get it fucking wrong somehow. Yeah, Didn't You Know? Speaking of music, which is interesting, if you haven't listened to that song, highly recommend. Let me just read it, a little bit of it, okay? I'm trying to decide which way to go. I think I made the wrong turn back there. I think I made the wrong turn back there somewhere. I'm trying to decide which way to go. I think I made a wrong turn back there somewhere. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Tried to move, but I lost my way. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Stopped to watch my emotions sway. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Knew the toll, but I would not pay. Didn't you know? Didn't you know that you never know where the cards may lay? But there is a part in here. Time to save the world. Where in the world is all the time? So many things I still don't know. So many times I've changed my mind. Guess I was born to make mistakes, but I ain't scared to take the weight. So when I stumble off my path, I know my heart will guide me back. That part. So when I stumble off the path, I know my heart will guide me back. That's the part that I'm talking about. Like, that's the part that I'm so curious about. And again, if you feel comfortable, I'm just curious, like, how that feels or how that looks. And it's like, the lie is that you can't express your truth, or you can't honor your truth, or again, that you are a victim of, I don't know, circumstance, your thoughts, your mind, or even too that you have no control over that. Or, that there's no way out. Over here, we have the Ten of Cups and the Page of Pentacles, which is chef's kiss. The Ten of Cups is literally, it's joy, it's bliss. This is community. This is connection. This is literally the fourth line, like opportunist, right? This is like, finding or contributing in spaces where your first line, your knowledge, your interest expands or flourishes. It could be creating that space as well. Linking up with people who have the same, you know, morals, values, the same drive, the same vision is the word that I was looking for. I also feel like this could happen in the next 6 months, year. And I'm saying that because, there's these symbols. There's a new moon on their robe. There's a full moon on their robe. There's a couple crescent moons. But, we have eclipses happening. In Aquarius over the next 6 months, over the next year. Pluto's in Aquarius. Which is an air sign as well. It's also, they talk about Aquarius as the humanitarian. Even considering humanity. Coming up with unique systems, unique types of community. It's one of those things where if it doesn't exist, create it. If you have an idea, if you have a dream, if you have, literally, if that's your path, that it is, you keep coming back to it. It's something that literally feels like it anchors you into the earth. That's why you're here. Either, figure out ways of getting involved in something similar. Start having those conversations with people as well, because truly with fourth lines, your best opportunities are going to be found within your network, within your the people that you know. It's just putting out, it could be word of mouth. Again, just having conversations with people. This is something that I want to develop. This is something that I want to create. And it just, somehow it the little birdie flies around, and then somehow the right people or the right opportunities come back to you. Because, we have, and again, right? This is almost even trying to take it on all yourself, thinking that you have to be the one to do everything, or you have to be the one to everything, create it, fund it, market it, whatever, this is, breaking it up, delegating work. This is, again, it's through conversation. It's through connection. It's through multiple people coming together who have the same interest. The Page of Pentacles is the newbie, the apprentice. This is allowing yourself to be new at something. Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time and our physical presence. Where are you investing your time? Where are you're physically showing up in your life? It's your health and your body. I mean, literally anything tangible, anything, your house, any materials and resources that you have, right? And they have this pentacle that they're holding there. And they're starting to take practical steps towards whatever this 10 of Cups is. And practical steps is just literally taking action towards an idea. Instead of it just remaining an idea or a theory, you're starting to do something about it. And like I said, I feel like that's having conversations with people. Or, again, it could be getting involved in some capacity with organizations or whatever that is aligned with the direction that you're heading in, because then you can make connections there as well, and you can learn some of the ropes as well. Because again, like with the Page of Pentacles, it's about learning. Yeah, the book says an enthusiastic individual who is eager for experience, a student learning and approaching adventure, focusing on a goal, diligent study, a hardworking and dedicated individual, practicality, concentration, being single-minded about a particular desire or endeavor to the point of obsession. Dudes. Overanalyzing. That's this. Knowledge and experience are being acquired. A well-formulated plan comes from thinking practically. And even, thinking practically, it's like, okay, what can I do right now? Even with the people that I do know, because no doubt there are people that you have already talked to and shared these things with that could either, offer you some good advice, that could put you in contact with people, that could give you some information to look into. This is literally just like information gathering at this point. This is also like very much first line too, right? Like, it's literally starting to build that foundation or to set the foundation. Whereas over here, it's literally just in your mind, and it's just a thought, and it's just a hope or a dream or, and maybe even something that you're like, I don't even know how I would do this. But again, you're thinking, how can I do this alone? Over here is like, you can do it with other people's help, because duh, like, literally, that fourth line is literally designed to have people around you who can help. The connections that you make are not for nothing, And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So I love that we go from the Page of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles. Look at the difference even between these two cards. This is like, just kind of being out there looking around like, oh, I don't know where to set this pentacle, or I don't, This is literally even too, like I said, like, this is setting the foundation. That's, like, where do I want to put this first brick, right? There's this dog behind here that's burying its bone, or maybe it found a bone. That is also kind of interesting. Like, maybe too, like, there would be some sort of sign for you on how or where to set that first brick, and however that is for you. Again, like, whether it is a new job, whether it's like a community that you are trying to create, or a building that you're trying to acquire, or whatever it is. There is going to be literally, the perfect opportunity, like the perfect thing is going to show up. I have no doubt. And do not settle for anything other than, oh my God, this is it, I know, like, when I walked into my house, I felt that. I was like, oh, this is it. This is mine. And thankfully it worked out that way. But no other house felt that way. There was one house that I was in love with, but it just didn't work out. And I'm so fucking glad that it didn't. I was devastated. I was like ready to just throw in the towel. And this is 9 years ago. I was ready to just throw in the towel. But then this house popped up. And also, how that even happened. Well, whatever. How it even happened. Like I lived 45 minutes away from where I live now. And that morning, I drove out here to look at a house that's literally 3 doors down from the house that I live in now. And there were too many weird, problems with it. I was really disappointed. Also, I was like getting kind of sick of like driving out here, that other house, whatever. And it literally, like hours later, I got notifications from the realtor about, new listings. And this was one of the first ones. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I was like, I'll leave work right now and meet you there. And like I said, like as soon as I walked in the house, I was like, this is it. This is mine. That's the feeling that, and it was, like literally put the offer in that day. They accepted it that day or the next day. And, boom, boom, boom. But it's crazy because literally I was like 3 doors down earlier that day. There wasn't even a sign outside of this house at that point, because I would have seen it and I would have been like, hey, what's this house? So I just there's something perfect that is going to pop up, and it's like, you're going to know where to get started. The Knight of Pentacles here, like this is like movement. The Knight of Pentacles is generally like the slowest moving knight in the whole tarot. But it also is about dedication and commitment to something. It's taking care to build something intentionally. A practical person who isn't afraid to pursue their desires. What does that say? A person with a dark and mysterious aura. That's interesting. A protective and stable individual who makes others around them feel safe. Taking solid practical steps towards achieving a goal. Pursuing a goal with little regard to what is being sacrificed in its pursuit. Surety of purpose. Hello. Treading new ground. Hello. A business opportunity. Considering how the current might benefit others through their own success. Also, too, I think like Barbara Walters is a 4-1. And, look at her, right? Like journalism was her thing. And interviewing people and, like connecting in that way. Although I will never forgive her for what she did to Britney Spears. Tom Brady, I believe, is a 4-1. And look at him. Like, he was supposed to retire, and then he didn't, and his wife was like, fuck this. And, she's remarried now or whatever is happening with her, but she left, and he was like, this is what I have to do. This is my path. My path is that I'm not ready to retire yet. And look at him, So yeah. Again, like however that looks for you. I don't really know. And of course it can go however which way, but I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. Actually, we have the 7 of Swords, the Hanged Man. Don't judge yourself harshly. Like making this mental shift, because the 7 of Swords is the card of us fooling ourselves. This is the 8 of Swords is a self-inflicted mind prison. This is self-sabotage. This is limiting beliefs. This is like, handicapping, manipulation. betrayal, trickery. And the Hanged Man is delays, suspension. This is like literally sitting in your own story. Like, yes, you're ready to take action towards your goals, right? But your brain is still going to fucking freak out. So again, like, this is a really good time to even journal, even like write out what the story is. Because I know for me, like, the way that it is in my head versus the way that it is outside of it is two different things usually. And also the way that I quit smoking years ago, I had a notebook that I kept around me, and anytime I would have a craving, I would write down what the craving was. Like, I want a break or something, and all of a sudden, like, I got a huge craving, or I was like stressed out, or I was bored or hungry even. So anytime a craving would pop up, I'd be like, okay, what's happening? Like, and I would literally write it down. And I would also write down my successes. I would be like, it's 8:58 and I have not had a cigarette. It's day 2 at 12 o'clock. I still have not had a cigarette. I made it through my first night without like smoking a cigarette. And literally, I mean, like, the first week or so, like, I had a whole page front and back, written out of cravings, thoughts, freakouts, that my brain was having, not my body, but my brain. And then, like, as time went on, it got shorter and shorter. And I only did that for a month. I mean, if that. But it just, like, the list kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until I didn't need to do that anymore, except for maybe every once in a while when a new thing would pop up and I'm like, ooh, that would be like a trigger for me wanting to smoke a cigarette, or stress or anxiety, or there's literally a commercial of Olive Garden that came on, and I like get up from my chair and walk over to my counter where I used to keep my cigarettes, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I'm like, holy shit, like, an Olive Garden commercial triggered me to do that, So I'm just saying, like, give yourself a break with the mind stuff. Allow yourself to see things from a different perspective. Allow yourself to even see those limiting thoughts as, literally what they are. Like, they're trying to protect you. They're trying to protect you from disappointment, from letdown, from betrayal, or, past experiences. Because again, ego, right? Like, something happened, we attached a story to it. And then those stories start bombarding us when we're trying to make a change. And then we just kind of end up back in the same cycle, or we just end up not doing anything. So, give yourself a ton of grace. Give yourself a lot of room for your brain to freak out. But like I said, be aware of what those thoughts are, because also behind that is the King of Wands. Kings, the highest expression of the suit. Wands, action, motivation. This is being an authority. This is, people looking to you for guidance. This is taking inspired action towards something. Creative freedom. Direction, even. Also, even like your strategy and authority, like, that's literally designed to help you enter into the quote unquote correct experiences for you. And also when to leave those experiences as well. And really, again, just really anchoring in on what's happening in your head, what's happening in your body, what is also like true for you. It's like feeling the fear, doing it anyway. It's proving to like your brain that like you're not going to die from, disappointment or rejection, because also like all of us have been through different levels of that and we survived. And does it suck? Absolutely. But it's no reason not to. It's no reason, to just take yourself out of it, So anyway, okay, I'm officially going to leave it there. Okay. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.